Good day, YouTube. It is the 10th of March, 2024. This is my 1955 Cushman Truckster. We've been working on it. We've been building the ultimate racetrack pit area vehicle on the back of this Truckster. And yeah, we probably should be working on it a little more than we have. But we're not at the moment. But I have an opportunity. I have a couple of days. Weather's kind of bad. I want to work inside. Let's make a seat. This is the original board that used to be the seat for this fine machine. You can see on the back that there's still some vinyl attached to it and the old staple holes. But this board has seen better days. I mean, if it was just a little better, I'd use it. But it got wet and I put it in a bag and then didn't take it out of the bag, and now it smells and it's warped and it's not very good. So we're gonna make a new one. Okay. And the gas cap sits above and this sits flush. So let's make a new one with that hole in it for the gas cap to recess up into the seat. And then it'll hinge either on the front or the rear. I haven't decided. There's holes. Well, there was holes in the front, so it must have hinged forward. But we'll have a look at it. We'll decide how to do that because I don't need it. I can build the seat before I make that decision. Is what I'm trying to say. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we are. Brand new. Isn't that nice? All right, let's take this upstairs to the upholstery shop, and we'll see what we've got to make an upholstered seat. I have an idea, the pattern that I want. I have an idea, the kind of the shape and style that I want. And I went looking for foam for this yesterday. And A, I couldn't get one quite wide enough. B, oh my gosh, have you priced foam lately? I got a bunch of stuff upstairs. I'm sure we'll find something that's suitable and appropriate. Let's go upstairs. All right, I found a piece of foam in the pile. Yeah, it's a pile. Yeah, it's actually a little short, but I'm gonna leave a gap in the rear, if you will. It ain't gonna be that big a deal. Can't sit that far back anyway. As long as it comes all the way out here in the front. I'll shove something back there. So anyway, I drew a line with a Sharpie. And I'll get the electric knife out here, and we'll get that cut. Bzzzt, bzzzt. That'd be easy. Around that. Oh, I don't need to round that corner. I haven't got to the corner. Okay, I thought I left the tripod up here, so I'm going to run downstairs again and see where the heck I left it. And we'll come back. We'll cut that. And we'll start laying out the fabric. Here's what we're going to make it out of. So I had ordered black vinyl, 2 yards of it, for the Honda Acti truck. And it appears, I'm going to set this aside and put that fabric out just to be sure of what I'm doing. It appears that they sent me 2 2-yard pieces. If you're unfamiliar with how to order fabric, it's typically about 54 inches wide on the bolt, and you order it by the yard, by the linear yard. So let me drag this out, make sure that's what I have, because I don't want to use it up, because I need it 2 yards for the Acti truck, like I said. But this won't take very much, but I probably have some scraps of something else we could make it out of. Or heaven forbid I go buy some at the fabric store. Let me see what I got. All right, we are in luck. That's just a yardstick, and it is double. It means folded. So I have 54 inches wide by 6 feet long, and even at that, if I pull that to the end, I've got probably 3 inches on both sides. I probably have an extra 6 inches. So I have 6'6" by 54 wide. I have plenty, and I'm only going to need enough for this top and some boxing. So I'm only going to use maybe 20 inches off of this, or 24 at the most. So I probably have enough to do the Acti truck from the remnants of this piece if I do it right. So anyway, I'm not going to make something just easy and fast and cheap. I'm going to make something kind of cool, I think. Here we go. Okie doke. Got my tri-stand. Alright, I got a couple of these electric knives. You just get them at yard sales. This is a General Electric. Got a switch here somewhere. Is that it? Oh. This thing runs sweet. Okay, best thing in the world for cutting foam. Just keep the knife square to your work or you end up with wedges. That's no fun. Too bad. How much in frame is this? I don't know. Not very much. Nice. You can come in and just kind of touch it up a little. There. Won't matter too much. It'll move. Let's cut that corner. Now if you borrowed this from the kitchen, clean it well and put it back before anybody finds out, okay? Or get you one at a yard sale like I did and dedicate it to your upholstery area. Right on. Okay, let's... Oh. I think we'll set this foam aside. They're not, corners aren't perfect. You can kind of sand on those and make them perfect, but we're going to put some DAC roll over, and that pretty much hides your imperfections. Makes it fluffier. Fluffier. Alright, so I guess we better lay some material out and we'll trace out our seat. Stand by. Alright, so I'm visualizing my insert. So this is going to be made, the seat itself is going to be made in 3 pieces. It's going to have an insert, 2 side panels, and then boxing around the edges. Okay, my pattern wants to be I want to do a double stitch diamond. Okay, so it'll be something on the order of this. Okay. Something on the order of that. And my total insert's going to be 17 inches by 15.5 inches. So I'm going to go all the way to the boxing. We'll probably do a welt around. So I want to run kind of large seam allowances because I'm a beginner at best. So I'll do 1/2 inch seam allowances, easy to do. So we'll cut this 18 by 16.5. But I also need to understand I'm going to have shrinkage. So I'm going to add another inch for shrinkage when we sew up all the diamonds. So we'll start off with a 17.5. So the cut equals 19 by 17.5. So that's plus 2 inches. That's an inch for seam allowance, 1/2 inch on each side, and an inch for shrinkage. It won't be an inch. I won't need the inch, but I'm gonna make it longer than wider. Okay, we can always just, you know, tuck it in. It'll be what it'll be. And wanted a roughly 2 inch diamond, so 2 1/4 will be our measurements for our stitching. And that gap there will be 1/4 inch. Hope you can see that. Yeah, so let's lay that out. So 19 by 17 and a half. Okay. 19 by 17 and a half. Set that aside. I need to remodel my sewing spaces to give me more room, get my lights off the desk, etc. Yeah, that's what we need to do. So we'll come out here to 19. Roughly up here. We'll come out here to 19. And 17 and a half. Move this guy. $17 and a half over here. All right. This is a China pencil, by the way, if you care. It's blowing up a gale out there. It's a windy, stormy day. It's a really good day to do upholstery. All right, there it is, 17 by 19 and a half. Then, I guess I could just cut this out. And then we'll move on. I'm cutting the outside of the line. And then some. Okay. Now then, let's bring this back and talk about making our pieces out here. So we already know that we're cutting. I don't have to sew the diamonds out here, so I'm not going to have that stretch, but we're going to cut these similar anyway. So I'm going to have 3 1/4 inches of side here on both sides. So I need to cut, because I need my seam allowance still, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it the same length. Okay, so 17 and a half by 4 1/4. Okay. 17 and a half by 4 1/4, and I need 2 of those. Okay. When we get them rough cut, we can come in and worry about this when we're ready to sew things together. Okay, we'll get it all sewed up, all 3 pieces, and then we'll worry about these radiuses. Yeah, it's probably not the way the pros would do it. But the pros ain't here today. I'm turning on my heater because it's cold. Okay. Okay, boy, the shop didn't cut these super square. Where is my T-square? Speaking of squares, I set it under here, didn't I? Well, we're going to have to do a little better than they did back. Why don't you let me cut these, and then I'll bring you back. All right, this roll here, they call it scrim. It's just 1/4 inch scrim, so it's foam with a fabric backing on the back side of it, and this is going to allow us to sew our pleats into our vinyl. So everything on the seat surface, we'll have to glue and sew this scrim to the back of. So I went ahead and cut these 3 pieces out to save you the tedium, and I'll put this stuff away. We'll clean up our table. We'll get the material laid out, 1, 2, 3 pieces. Put the scrim to each piece. We'll glue it, and then we'll stitch it, and we'll get ready to sew our diamond pleats. Get them all laid out and start sewing. Let me get this cleaned up. All right, I found some glue. Let's spray this down. Wax on, wax off. Okay. Come on, Pip. There we go. Now then. Now then, I gotta sew these somewhat accurately, I think. Alright. Let me set up to do that. Alright, let's give this a shot. So I set my machine up yesterday with red thread. I don't know if I'm really ready for that yet, but we're going to. It's to push my abilities. Red thread, you're going to be able to see more, it's more in your face than black thread, so it's got to look nice. The stitch has to look nice. Okay, nothing we're doing at the moment is going to show, but when we do our pleats, I wanted those in red. So luckily this is no show car we're doing, because I'm not ready for that yet. All right. What happened, buddy? Dang. Alright. I lost the thread somehow or another. Okay, I'm back. I got these two done. I had to work on my machine for a while. So, anyway, I had a guy come out and service my machine. I spent about $250 going over this thing. Mostly I didn't know what I was doing. Everything on it was screwed up because probably I screwed it up trying to make it work. But I know a lot more about it now. I think this whole tension section is screwed up, and I'm gonna order this whole tension section. It's not expensive. I saw it the other day online, and I think that's gonna solve my problem. But I made some adjustments, and I got it working. Why is that over here? I don't know. Anyway, that's better. Anyway, hopefully it makes it through this project, but let's get this sewed up. Following my vinyl right on the edge best I can. I'm not very good at controlling at the edge, so we go to manual mode when we get real close. Pick up the foot, set her back down. And there we go. So we locked our stitches coming and going. That's finished product. I think we sewed fairly straight. It's gonna look pretty good. So I need to run around this thing and cut this foam as close to the stitching as possible without cutting the stitching. So I'll do that off camera, and then we'll start laying out diamonds. Okay, we're gonna do diamonds, double stitch diamonds with red stitching. I think it's gonna look great. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Hope the machine hangs on. I think I've decided that once I replace all of this thing's gonna be fabulous. But in the meantime, it may not be. But looking good. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, I got the pattern laid out. Went with 2.5 inch squares because that's going to narrow up when we double stitch it. Okay, so it started in 1 inch from each side. If you want more diamonds, start a wider, like 1.25 1.5 inches. It's a relatively small seat. By the time it's kind of boxed in and stuff, it'll be a little smaller than this. So this is a good number. It'll make the seat maybe even appear bigger. It's kind of like putting like ceramic tile in the bathroom. If you put big tile in, it makes the bathroom look a little bigger. Anyway, make what size squares you want. Um, but if you make them much smaller, it's probably going to look a little busy. So we need to stitch these now. Hopefully my machine's up to the challenge. So let's get started stitching, and I'll turn you off for a while and finish it up, and then we'll come back and we can, what did I say, bolt on the sides. Yeah, something like that. We haven't made the boxing such yet either. Okay. Alright. I've been inspired by a YouTube channel. Gosh, I just had the name on top of my head there for a second. I'll get back to you on that. He's been very helpful with techniques and such, and suggestions about always start in the middle. So we're going to start in the middle on this bad boy. Okay. I don't think we need to lock any of these. We're going to sew over them anyway. They're not structural. Okay. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, there's one. We'll do one more, then I'll put you on hold. There's two. Alright, I'll put you on hold and I'll come back when I do my first double stitch. How's that? Okay, as you can see, I got one side done. To be consistent and make sure I don't screw up and do one double stitch on the left and one on the right, we're going to run everything through the same direction. I'm just going to put a little mark on the left side just as a reminder that I don't mess up, that we're only doing the second stitch on the left. Okay. And we'll start in the center. I just ran out of bobbin on a finished run there. That was a bummer. But I wound up 3 of them yesterday, so we're back in business. All right. can go any speed you want, but I'm crawling. So there we go. I've only got, you know, a few more to do. But it's looking good. That's the design we were hunting for. Here we go. I'll bring you back when I get them done. Okay, so brought it back to fit it to our seat. And what I think I'll do, let me slide this off so you get a chance to see this. So this is where my intersection is on the left, and here's where my intersection is on the right. Not exactly centered, so I've decided to sew it across the intersection on both sides, okay? And then these sides will just be trimmed to match. So I've drawn a line, so when I line these up, I'll sew along that line. I've drawn a line on this side, it's just a little bit bigger. I'll sew along that line. That'll put these three pieces together. Okay, I'll be sure to line up these fronts because that will go right onto the boxing. We'll probably come back and top stitch this because that's the look. I talked about piping earlier, but I think that would look bad. So I think we'll top stitch it. We'll match this. And then we can deal with the back however we want to. A boxing, we can shorten it up. We can do whatever. But this should look good. All right. Amateur hour, isn't it? All right, here we go. All right, guys, this is as far as I've got today. It is, I don't know, 5:30 or something. It's about time for me to head for the home. This looks good. I got it all sewn and then double top stitched just like the rest of it. Gosh, this is looking just like I wanted it to. Pretty cool. So we're going to let it sit here overnight. I've got you know, good seam allowance all the way around. So we'll figure out the boxing tomorrow and how I want that to look. And we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to have to do some thinking on this at this point because this is as far as I've thought it through. But it's doing okay. My machine's hanging in there. I learned a lot about my machine when the guy was working on it, and so when it started not working well, I had way more knowledge to get it functioning, and it's functioning, but it's not correct yet. So, but anyway, I'm gonna order that tension thing today, and this is gonna be a-okay. Other than that, very, very happy with it. This is a copy of a Consew 206, and I've put a DC servo motor in it. The old clutch motor is sitting over here somewhere, and that thing is scary. That machine is so freaking fast it'll cut your fingers off. But it really works good with this motor in it now. I'll get the thing fine-tuned and it'll be awesome. But we're making it work, and that's what counts. So, guys, we'll catch you in the morning. Boys and girls, it is the next morning, and so what I did is laid my base down on top of my seat, and I drew a line around it, a kind of a generous line. That's going to be my sewing line. This is going to be my seam allowance. And I decided, because the thickness of my foam, the plywood thickness, my seam allowance, and that I wanted 2 inches of overlap to come over and staple underneath, that I needed a 7-inch boxing. So I've cut this out of my vinyl, you know, with the idea to keep, you know, the very usable pieces. So I call this a utility seat, but I've got some real plans for that vinyl, so we're using out of there. So I made my boxing in 3 pieces. However, this turned out to be a 54-inch wide piece, so and I need about 80. So I'm only going to need 2 pieces. So I'm going to sew the 54 to, I think these are about 36. I'm going to sew 2 of these together. I've marked my center. I took this piece and marked my center. I know I did. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we're going to start by sewing this boxing front and center here all the way around, and then the piece will end up, the seams will end up, in this area on both sides. So what we'll probably do is, we're going to sew one of those together, and then we'll wait till we get this all sewn around, and we'll leave this kind of open. Then we'll cut and sew that seam, and then we'll finish up that little bit. So I think I'll take scissors and cut this so this corner's not hanging out on all 4 corners, and we'll sew the boxing on, leaving that space, and go from there. Here we go. Well, here we go, boys and girls. I got a lot to learn about top stitching corners and things, so sometimes it's the order that you do things that makes things more difficult. And I really wanted to do a double stitch all the way around it, but I just didn't feel I could do it well enough to make it look right. So I had the time with this today, but we got it. So it's just kind of sitting here. I like it. I'm going to put some Dacron over this. I got the compressor pumping up. I got air up here so we can staple this on. So let me pop this off, put some Dacron on it. We'll put it back on, staple her down. Here we go. My big scissors are over there. Sorry I didn't show much for video on the boxing. It wasn't my best day. We got it. It's still amateur hour around here. So I've got a couple of these. These are upholstery staplers. They shoot a wire staple. This one is spot nails. I got this from a upholsterer that was having a yard sale. He actually got out of the business and then he got back in. But I'd ordered this one. It's a Porter Cable. I'd ordered it through Home Depot. So it was, at the time, quite a while ago, 10 years ago probably. It was like 110 bucks or something. They're probably a little more than that now. But for upholstery, they're awesome. They've got more of a you can get into better spaces with it. Ouch. Thing hit me in the finger. It's not having a great day either. Oh, wasn't enough to come around that side, was it? Wasn't thinking. Man, it's like these staples are wrong. Alright. Close enough. The hole is the back. The hole is the back. Alright, hey, at least my center lines still line up. Well, this stapler was having issues, so I don't know what's up. Like I put the wrong staples in it, so I keep a little longer staples in this one. We'll use it. I've got 3/4 plywood, so that's good. We'll just do the centers and then we'll have a look. If you're gonna fix it before you get 1,000,000 staples in it. Cleaning my work surfaces, and this is the front. All right, I'll be okay with it. I'll be okay with it. Okay. Let's continue. Ooh, I got a bend in it. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't know if I fixed it or made it worse, but it'll be alright. It'll be alright. You know, we're doing this as kind of practice, this whole Cushman cover, because, you know, it's going to get pretty beat up. But I've got some other upholstery stuff coming up, so I needed to practice. Haven't done it in years. I was never very good. So we're practicing. Okay? That's what we're doing. For bigger, better things. Right. Now we're just going to trim off the excessiveness there. Especially around that filler cap. Those first staples put in there a little high. Look better with them out. Okay. There it is, boys and girls. It's been a while. We got one done. Not super proud of it. Got some problems. But, hey, working at it. More you do, the more you learn. More you learn, better job you'll do, right? Looks good for what it's going on. And we got some other fun projects coming up in an upholstery world very, very soon. So, guys, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate it. Thumbs up on the way out. Helps to get seen by more than just you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Throw your comments below. I'll answer your comments in the morning, guaranteed, or your money back. All right. Thanks, guys. See you on the next video.